Test.
Next days I'm gonna bring in alcohol wipes.
Yeah, I know. It looks terrible. All ready? Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to call to order the meeting of the City of Bloomington Council and ask everyone to stand if able, and for the pledge, and remain standing for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilmember Kearns,
Here.
Councilmember Bolin,
Here.
Councilmember Motney,
Here.
Councilmember Dannenberger.
Here.
Councilmember Becker.
Here.
Councilmember Hendricks.
Here.
Councilmember Ward.
Here.
Councilmember Lee,
Here.
Councilmember Crumpler,
Here.
Mayor Millawamboy.
Okay, here. And I understand City Manager Jurgens is attending remotely, correct?
That is correct, and I
Mm.
believe he is online.
I am here.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So we're going to move on to recognitions and appointment, Madam Clerk.
We would like to recognize the appointment of Craig McCormick to the Library Board of Trustees, Amy Endicott to the Human Relations Commission, Sean Murphy to the Public Safety and Community Relations Board, and then the reappointments to the Planning Commission of Govardhan Galapali, William Paradotti, and Mary Ann Colon. I'm not sure if there's anybody present, but if they would please stand and be recognized.
No, they're very busy.
Thank you.
Okay, well, but we thank them anyway, so we appreciate it. We're going to move on to public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment?
We did receive 2 emailed public comments that were forwarded to council earlier today. One is from Tammy Grifford, and the other one is from Timothy Maurer. Timothy Mauer's came a little bit later, so just make sure that you do see that one. And then we just have one person registered to speak. That's Serena Fish, after you read your statement.
Okay. Uh, Public comment is an opportunity for speakers to provide their views and feedback to the city council. It is also an opportunity for the city council to listen and hear diverse points of view. To maximize the impact of public comment and show respect for the expression of all views, speakers should maintain civility and focus on city issues. Each speakers must identify themselves for the record, but are not required to give their address. Each speaker is given the floor for 3 minutes, and the council does not respond or engage in debate. Any speaker that engages in threatening or disorderly behavior will be deemed out of order and their time ceased.
Good evening. My name is Serena Fish. I'm in Ward 6 and in a building, in a business in the TIF district being discussed tonight. I don't know if any of you are aware of it. At 5:30 tonight, there was a meeting that started downtown business owners and the police department, because there have gotten so many problems and so many vagrants and so many move-ins, people sleeping in their things, defecation, nudity, all kinds of things going on, that it is so bad downtown. They'd asked tonight for a special meeting with the police department. So I don't know if any of you are aware of that, but to me, I think we need to clean up our house before we start into a whole new era. You need to start listening about the problems we're having in the business district, from the tent city all the way now over the bridge, downtown, around town, and do something about it before you consider, or anyone considers, coming into downtown because of the problems that exist. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's no further public comment.
Okay. And now we're going to move on to the public hearing. And this public hearing is for the proposed downtown redevelopment project area as scheduled by ordinance 2024-034 as requested by the Economic and Community Development Department. And before, I know we have Megan Lamb as the city TIF attorney who will attend remotely. Just want to make sure that they can hear.
I can hear. I am present, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go ahead and call to order this meeting. It's 6:08 PM. And I'm going to start with Melissa Hahn, our Economic and Community Development Director, to give a presentation.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, and City Manager. We're very excited to be before you tonight to hold the public hearing for the proposed downtown TIF district. This TIF will be a vital tool to spur private investment in order to achieve the complete revitalization of downtown Bloomington. Next slide, please. So here you will see the map of the proposed redevelopment area, which starts north at the vacant property owned by the city of Bloomington and Illinois Wesleyan University, and continues south to include blighted commercial area properties. 2 key highlights to note with the proposed redevelopment area is, one, that the Northwestern Mutual Building, which is located at 102 Southeast Street, will not be included within the redevelopment area. That property does currently have a development agreement with the city of Bloomington and District 87, so therefore it's not being included within the TIF district. The second thing to note is that the Downtown Southwest TIF district, which was created in 2016, is proposed to be dissolved and included within the new redevelopment project area. Next slide, please. In completing their assessment, PGAV determined that the redevelopment area qualified as a conservation area, and the criteria used were the age of structure, deterioration, inadequate utilities, and declining or subpar EAV growth. Evidence that was found within the proposed redevelopment areas that 79.9% of the buildings are 35 years or older. 93.4% of the improved parcels were found to be deteriorated, and 100% of the vacant parcels were found to contain deteriorated structures or site improvements. Sewer lines need to be extended, replaced, or repaired. I think we're all aware of the combined sewer that we have within the downtown. And that the area EAV growth has grown at a lower rate than the balance of the city in 3 of the past 5 years. Next slide, please. If successful, it is estimated that the current EAV of the projected area that's currently at about 37.5 million will grow to 59.4 million during the life of the TIF, which is 23 years. I am also pleased to report that the Joint Review Board made a positive recommendation in favor of establishing the downtown TIF at their meeting on July 1st. Additionally, city staff have been in the process of finalizing an intergovernmental agreement with District 87 related to the management of the TIF increment should this TIF district be established. We plan to have the final intergovernmental agreement with District 87 and the ordinance establishing the TIF district before council for consideration at the next regular council meeting on Monday, July 22nd. If anyone wants more information regarding the proposed TIF or to view the plan, they can find that at the city's website at bloomingtonil.gov/TIF. Will take you right to that page. You can see our current TIF districts that we currently have, as well as the proposed TIF district. As the mayor mentioned, we do have Megan Lamb, who is our TIF attorney, on the line. Should there be any legal questions that she can answer for us. And then we also have Adam Stroud here from PGAV Planners, who put together the report, who could also answer any questions should those arise. And with that, I'll turn it back over.
Okay, sounds good. And I know we don't do questions from the council at this point. We'll do them when the item comes as an ordinance, correct? Okay. Let's see, so at this time, we will ask anyone from the public that wants to testify to come forward. Individuals will be allowed to speak only once, and we ask that you keep your remarks reasonably short so that we can get through everyone that desires to speak. Is there anyone who signed up?
I didn't have anyone register in advance of the meeting.
Okay, all right. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Oh, okay. Go ahead, come forward.
Good evening. I'll start by swearing you in. If you could please state your name
Nalin Gupta.
and raise your right hand.
Absolutely.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah, I do swear. I tell the truth, all the truth, nothing but the truth. Okay,
Very
thanks.
good. Thank you.
All
Okay,
right,
good evening, everybody.
thank you.
So just. quick
Could you speak a
question.
little closer to the microphone?
Yeah, so a question for you is what does city want to accomplish from this TIF district? What is the agenda? Is it commercial? Is it residential? Is it some kind of a museum? What is the idea behind creating this, if I missed it?
Yeah, I would say all of the above. So, I think with a lot of properties that we have within the downtown, mixed use, commercial, residential, we will really be looking at any type of development agreement, project by project.
And with your study on what is required in the town, what is the most important thing which town needs?
Private investment and public investment and infrastructure.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Okay, you can come up.
You could please state your name
Michael Leemacher?
and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I live at 706 South Center Street, and this is in the very area that some of this redevelopment is going to happen. And I want to know exactly what's going to happen in my block, because I'm right on Center Street, bordering Elm, Main, and MacArthur. And I know that the plan is all the way going to Wood Street within that strip, that South Strip and South Hill. And I didn't know what is going to happen because I own my property outright and everything around me is commercial. And I just didn't know, is everything going to be torn down and I'm going to be the only one? Or is it just putting some incentive for people who own those commercial properties to upgrade them? That's it. Thank you.
Go ahead, Melissa.
Yeah, so we are obviously looking for private investment. So for those commercial properties, anybody that would be interested in speaking with the city if there was a need for incentives. It is our policy that we do look at, kind of that but for that without the incentive, it wouldn't occur. But as I mentioned, we would be looking at it on a project by project basis. To my knowledge, we're not looking to tear anything down.
Agreed. Okay, all right, looks like we don't have anybody else. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and close the public hearing, and the time is 6:16. And we're going to, thank you, Melissa, thanks all of you. We're gonna move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I actually would like to pull an item.
Okay,
I'd like to pull item 8G.
8G.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of G.
Okay, all right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Councilmember Crumpler. And so we're gonna go ahead and vote. Okay, the consent agenda passes with the exception of 8G. And now we're gonna move on to item 8G, Councilmember Ward.
Thank you. And I asked to pull this not because I'm opposed to it, but actually because I want to give it just a little bit of special attention because I think it really is an important improvement to the city code. And I want to highlight some of the things that it does. For as long as I've lived in this community for decades, one of the issues in the neighborhoods around where I live has to do with frequently seeing huge piles of trash that are left when a person is either evicted or leaves a rental situation and leaves behind belongings. And many times the landlords empty out these properties and leave behind huge piles of garbage. We also often see piles of construction trash left behind inappropriately. And up until today, with this measure that we're going to be voting on, there's really been very little that disincentivizes people from doing this. Up until today, the city simply charged $25 a scoop to remove this garbage. $25 a scoop is really nothing when you think about the cost of a construction dumpster. As we've heard already explained here, that's about the size of a sofa. And some of these piles of trash that I and my family and my children and my neighbors' children have had to walk around and navigate. Sometimes they're taller than we are. So $25 a scoop is nothing. This measure increases that fee for inappropriate dumping of garbage by landlords and we're not talking about owner occupied properties. Okay, I want everybody to hear that. But inappropriate dumping of garbage substantially, and it imposes a penalty for that. That goes up when there's multiple repeat offenders, because believe me, there are multiple repeat offenders over and over again. Our children shouldn't have to walk through this kind of thing. Sometimes I know when my kids were little enough to walk to Bent Elementary School, we would have to walk in the street rather than on the sidewalks to avoid the garbage. Kids shouldn't have to do that. They shouldn't have to grow up in neighborhoods like that. It sends the message that not only is the neighborhood trashy, but they're trash. And that's not the kind of message that our kids need in any neighborhood. And so I'm really thrilled to see this pass. And I didn't want it just to be lost on the consent agenda. It also reduces the amount of time that that offenders have to get it cleaned up before they start to incur penalties. Currently, up until now, it's been 2 weeks. It cuts it down to 7 days. And I just want to highlight that because I really do think that this is a big step forward for our communities. And I would like to move approval.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Councilmember Ward.
Montney,
I'm sorry.
I-
Oh, Montney, sorry.
You got it.
Sorry.
we agree so often.
Okay, the item passes and no nays to announce. Thank you. And seeing that we have no regular agenda item, we're going to move on to the city manager's discussion and we'll go to Mr. Jurgens.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. Go ahead and put my slides up tonight. If you could go to the next one. Wanted to give a quick update on homelessness and our work in that area. I've mentioned in the past that there are multiple community groups collaborating on this issue, and we continue to meet frequently as we work to determine and to develop solutions. Recently, tents began popping up at a couple of locations along the Constitution Trail. Camping or sleeping in public places, including along the trail, is prohibited by the city code. And after the Supreme Court's decision supporting local enforcement of these restrictions, I've asked our legal department and police department to develop a plan on how best to enforce these code provisions. That said, I've also started reaching out to local service providers to give them a heads up and ask for their assistance in providing alternative locations and continued connection to services. I know this is a very difficult issue, but I truly appreciate the community's patience as we address these challenges, as well as the help of all of our service providers. We remain committed to ensuring both compassion and safety as we address these issues, and we will continue working diligently to develop long-term solutions. This is not an overnight issue that we're going to fix, but I do think we are making progress, and we are going to, like I said, develop those long-term solutions. Next slide, please. A few weeks ago, we unveiled a new website, www.buildingbloomington.com. This was meant to be a one-stop shop with a variety of information. It has site locations, so if you're looking at developing housing, you could go on there and you could see what's already connected to infrastructure, what's site ready. It had information, or it has information on our building process, our building codes, has information on how to get in touch with staff and to work through any kind of question you might have regarding the development of housing in our community. Tonight, I wanted to share an important and I think exciting addition to this website, which is a residential housing development dashboard. This dashboard will provide the community as well as the city council with a tracker in terms of how many housing units are proposed to be developed, what's in the pipeline, what's coming, what stages are those developments. And so this is just another tool that we're excited to provide that will help us as we continue to have these housing discussions. As you look at the dashboard in its current state, you can see that there are 962 units that have been approved under plans. These are, could be multifamily units, they could be single family detached, they could be duplexes, but a total of 962. And then you can see the varying permitting stages of these different developments as well as where they are on the map that you can see up there. So excited to add this to the buildingbloomington.com website. I think this will be, as I said, helpful as we continue to have those discussions on housing in the community. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, sounds good. And I wanted to echo some of the comments City Manager Jurgens made on homelessness. And we definitely appreciate the regular updates on the issue and the delicate balance that all of us are trying to strike between safety and compassion while working on a long-term solution. This is certainly, it's a nationwide issue that many communities are grappling with. And, homelessness is something that didn't start yesterday. And that's something that we're committed to making a serious dent in our community. So definitely appreciate the work that you've done, City Manager Jurgens, but also the work of staff as well as, Bloomington Police Department. Also wanted to mention that on Wednesday, we held a press conference with Congressman Sorensen just to announce that Bloomington had been awarded $2 million in federal funding for Locust Colton sewer separation project. And that's it's really gonna go a long way into making shortening the timeline for that project. So we definitely appreciate the work put in by staff, but also the work of Congressman Sorensen staff and himself. So, and last thing I wanted to mention, also want to thank staff for the 4th of July celebration. Quite a bit of things were happening over those couple of days, not only on Friday, on Wednesday night at the BCPA with the Celebrate America celebration, but also the fireworks, but just a number of things happening as well. I think there was a cruise, classic car cruise thing in Miller Park as well, right? Please nod, staff, yeah. Oh, they did, okay, all right, all right. But anyways, it was great planning it. We definitely appreciate that. And again, lots of really good things happening, appreciated just the spirit of, collaboration and people coming together. It looked like people had a great time, especially at the fireworks. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to council members, see if there's, okay, Councilmember Crumpler.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to reiterate the mayor's comments. I had family here from out of town who attended the fireworks, and I really wanted to thank the Parks Department, Eric Veal and Dave Lamb. It was just a really nice celebration, and everyone was dutifully impressed. Thank you.
There's Councilmember Montney.
Thank you. I certainly will reiterate that. It was a wonderful Independence Day celebration. So thank you guys very much for that. My question is really procedural. We had the public hearing tonight for the TIF district. I understand as council, we're asked to hold our questions until the time of the item being presented to us on the agenda. However, I know in the past when public hearings are required, there are some boundaries as to the degree to which we can bring questions forward. So I'm not asking for anyone to respond to that this evening, but I do want to raise that issue to make sure there is an adequate opportunity for council to ask their questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Others? Okay, no, and seeing that we don't have any other comments, I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn.
So
Make a
moved.
motion.
Okay, oh
To
wow,
adjourn.
everybody running to the mic. Okay, let's see. So we'll go with Councilmember Bolin and Councilmember Ward. Okay, all right. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye,
Aye.
okay. See you next Monday.